Welcome back to the JustBeCos podcast, a podcast about all things life and cosplay. Welcome back, it's Jeremy. I'm back again with another wonderful episode, with another very special guest in our series of introducing wonderful people from around the world and learning all about their history, their careers, and how they've kind of gotten to where they are today because of cosplay. Now, as a continued collaboration with Smash, I've gotten the wonderful opportunity to speak with some of the wonderful guests who will be visiting Sydney later this year in July. And coming all the way from Singapore, we've got somebody who's elegant and yet edgy. They portray both the females and the male characters. They're a DJ, they're a model, they've got comedic humour timing, so you're going to be laughing when you listen to them, because they're quite funny. I think so anyway. And they're a wonderful person to talk to. So everybody, please welcome and please say hello, DJ Haru. Hello, Haru. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello. Nice to talk to you.
Excellent. Now, you've been a bit of a busybody because I've been trying to get in touch with a bunch of people throughout this entire week, and you've been very tricky to get hold of because you've been so busy. What kind of things have you been up to at the moment with your current projects?
I've been running from events to events and also moving house at the same time. So that's why I'm really busy recently.
Now, Haru, for anybody who doesn't know who you are, could you please just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Haru from Singapore, and also China, because I'm mixed blood, and I'm a cosplayer and also a DJ. I cosplay both female and male characters.
Fantastic. Now, you sound like you've been busy doing events and moving house and all that kind of things. What kind of events have you done? Because I know Singapore has its own really big cosplay community, but have you kind of travelled overseas before for other events and other conventions and stuff before?
Most of the time I'm actually traveling for overseas convention instead of Singapore.
Wow.
Yeah. Usually for Singapore it'll be Genshin and all the appearance for Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rails.
Wow, that's really cool. For coming to Australia, is this going to be your first time in Australia in July?
Yes.
What are some things that you've heard about Australia that you're excited to see, and what are some things that you're scared of?
I heard about there's a lot of kangaroos there. That's all.
Is that a scary thing or is that a good thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay.
It's very cool because we don't have and then I heard that there's a lot of nice place to visit, nice scenery. Yes.
Okay, excellent. The rumours are all true, whatever you've heard, whether they're good things, whether they're bad things, they're all true. So I hope you're looking very much forward to what Australia has to offer. But
I've never really heard about bad things about Australia. I only saw memes about kangaroos fighting people, that's all.
That's also true. We do that on a Wednesday night on the regular. People just find their local kangaroo and they decide to test their strength, and it's all true. It's all true. But if you haven't heard anything bad, then excellent, because if that's the case, there is nothing bad to worry about. Nothing to worry about, don't you worry.
I'm excited.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned before as well, you've been traveling doing cosplay, you've been doing DJing as well for a number of years. Is that something that you've always done since day one, since you were a kid? You're like, yeah, I really want to do cosplay, I really want to do DJing.
No, not really. I started cosplaying as a hobby, but I've never expected to earn money from it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a hobby. And then after one day, everyone is like, oh, you want to come to our event and we'll pay you? I'm like, oh, what? That's cool.
Is that very common in Singapore? Is there an industry for cosplayers to, wear a costume for fun? They look pretty good in it, and then companies just kind of approach you and they say, hey, you look great. Did you want to come work for us? Is that very common?
No, it's not really. There's only a few of us in Singapore.
Okay. So how did that opportunity for you arise? Was it something in which, you just went to a convention and you met people at the convention who were advertising, for example, Genshin Impact or Star Rail, and you met people there? Or was it something where you posted stuff online and they kind of sent you a message online to start that way?
Yeah, I think I've it's more of the first time is when Razer approached me, and then after I was they emailed me and I was like, damn, what the hell? They know my existence, what the hell?
Well,
Yeah, and then after that they hired me for like Genshin Impact. Yeah.
yeah, wow. Did you have a big following on social media by this stage, or were you kind of just starting out, or what was happening?
I've been cosplaying for like 7 years or 6 years already for at that point of time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think they found me through like Instagram.
That's really cool. And for DJing as well, you mentioned before that that's something that you've been doing as a job as well. Is that something that you always had an interest in since you were a kid, or is it something that you picked up a bit later?
It's something that I picked up later. Yeah, I started DJing when I was like 18. Yeah.
Okay. Any particular influence there? Was like, oh wow, I really like this DJ and I really want to get into it, or I really like the lifestyle. I suppose was that something that attracted you, or how did you get into it?
No, it's more of like my friends from like secondary school. And then after that, she was like, "Hey, I think you're really tall and like, I think you really fit into like being a DJ. Do you want to sign with my agency?" And then I'm like, yeah, sure." And then after that, I just become a DJ.
Wow. So it's just something that you kind of fell into. It's not something that you did research and looked around to meet people. Just someone said, "Oh, you'd be a good DJ," and you said, "Oh, okay, sure." And that's just kind of how it
No,
started.
no, no. And then after that, like the agency taught me how to DJ. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. What was your interests kind of growing up, kind of before cosplay and DJing? Was any of that, I guess, relevant to your interests now, or was it completely different?
I've always like watched anime since I was young. Like my mom introduced me like to Detective Conan and like Sailor Moon when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So I've been like being a weep since I was young. And then after that, I started like cosplaying at home since I was like 14. And then after my mom just saw like keep seeing me like wearing costumes, but I'm too like afraid to go to conventions. And then when I was like 16, she was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna bring you to convention." And then my mom brought me to convention.
That's really wholesome and nice of your mother. Is she also someone who's like, okay, Haru, you're gonna watch this anime, and since you're cosplaying, I'm gonna go take you to the convention. You don't want to go? I'm taking you to the convention. And so your mum's been a big influence, I suppose, since you first started, by the sounds of it.
She helped me to like alter my cosplay because I was too skinny and all this. And then after that, like, yeah,
That's really
she's
cool.
very supportive. She's like, "Oh, my daughter isn't in jail. She's not doing drugs. Yeah, that's good. Cosplay is good."
Does she still go to conventions with you these days, or because you're traveling so much, it's a bit
No.
difficult?
No, no.
Okay. So at the moment, you say you're doing a lot of traveling. Do you still do a lot of conventions in Singapore for, I guess, when you're staying home? It's like, oh, there's a local convention on this weekend. Is that something you still like to go to, or because I suppose you are so busy doing, traveling and work for other businesses, is that something you still have time for these days, or only if you kind of have a job with conventions?
I still do go to convention, depends if like I'm in Singapore, but my next upcoming convention is in Singapore, like which is like next week.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, what was the first overseas trip that you did? Because that would have been a really big, oh my god, I get to travel for cosplay. That's awesome. So, what was like the very first one that you remember?
Vietnam. Yeah,
Vietnam.
Ho Chi Minh and Vietnam. Yeah.
What was that experience like for you as someone who's like, oh wow, I've never been invited somewhere before and I'm getting flown over to Vietnam now? What was that experience like?
It's more of like when I see like a lot of people like really likes my cosplay and then some of them like even like come out to me and hug me, like cried because they met me and then I'm like, "What? People like me? What? Thank you." Yeah.
Is that something that you, I guess, have had to get used to? Because, excuse me, I took a quick look at your profiles. It's like, wow, they do some really good work. You got a really big follower count, and you probably have a lot of people who, want to get to know you, or a lot of fans out there. What's the way that you kind of manage that? Because obviously, with such a large, crowd or large following, it's very difficult to reply to everybody who wants to talk to you. So, how do you personally, manage having that many people messaging you, I suppose?
I feel like once you get certain amount of followers, people expect like the person to not reply. So
Right.
usually I get more comments than DMs, like personal DMs.
Okay. And what's the prerogative for you there? Do you try to reply to lots of comments, or you just say, oh look, I appreciate that you guys comment, but it's just not possible for me to comment back to everybody. So how do you kind of how do you manage that, I suppose?
I just take time out and I reply to all of them. Like it's not really that
Wow.
much. Usually it's like only like 60 comments or something. So
Only
I
60
just
comments.
reply.
Wow.
Yeah, they took time to comment nice things on my picture, so I will take my time to reply them in the comment section as well because I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, it's obviously uh, it's not something that you expected to happen to yourself. Obviously, you're just, by the sounds, it's just doing cosplay for fun, and all of a sudden you're meeting some cool people, you meet some friends, and all of a sudden some companies are starting to notice you, and obviously just with the ball keeps on rolling bigger and bigger and bigger. So obviously you have met lots of different people, and you keep in touch with lots of different people as well. But I guess for yourself, and you've probably got like a tight knit circle of friends and people that you prefer to hang out with. Is it? I guess this might be a weird question to ask, but is it difficult for you to kind of meet new friends who like you get along really well with, or do you feel like it's a bit more difficult because a lot of people see you as, oh wow, this is my cosplay idol. I need to make sure I don't say anything bad, and they kind of treat you differently because of that. So is it difficult for you to, I guess, meet new people and make genuine friendships and connections with them?
It's for sometimes like yes, but most of the time I don't think so because like I think like once I open my mouth, they just don't like yeah, they just see me as comedian.
That's really cool. I'm glad you kind of managed to stay true to yourself, I suppose, and it hasn't changed who you are as a person, which is fantastic. Where you are now, you're obviously at this point in your life where you're traveling a lot, you're doing a lot of different work. Do you have any particular goals that you are aiming for, that you are saying, oh, that's the kind of thing I want to do next? Do you have any goals like that?
Like yeah, to earn enough money and like yeah,
Invest?
investment. So
Investment?
yeah, and yeah, yeah.
How about with cosplay? Do you have any particular cosplay goals that you want to kind of achieve?
I think I don't like more of like my goal is because I'm more like strict to myself, so I want to improve more instead of like oh I want to hit this or hit like that goal. It's more of like I wish I can learn more skills. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. That's really cool. So it's just whatever opportunities come your way, you're happy to work with those when they come. But for the meantime, it's just I want to keep developing myself and just keep on improving, and hopefully that'll open up more opportunities that come your way in the future. Okay, no, that's really cool. Now let's go to the DJ side of things, because one of the things that Smash has done, they're going like, yeah, check out Haru. Not only is she an amazing cosplayer, she's a DJ. Check out her skills. Are you doing a DJ session down in Sydney as well when you're visiting?
Yeah, 1 hour set.
That's really cool. With DJing, do you have any kind of goals for that? Because, it says it's something that you fell into when you were 18 and you're kind of still doing it now. Are you kind of aiming for anything in the DJ world?
Not really. It's like, I just like get jobs for like cosplaying, and they realize like I'm DJ, and then after that they just hired me as a DJ, and I didn't know like you can like like cosplay DJ at the same time, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I can merge both of my
Merge
skills
both.
together.
Do you enjoy DJing as much as cosplay, I suppose? Because cosplay is something which you can stop, you can start, you can go to an event, you can not go to an event, and for DJing, it sounds like something you need to really kind of keep doing and keep putting yourself out there, so people know who you are and you keep getting gigs. Is that something that is really, I guess, continues to be enjoyable for you?
Yeah, but when like it's like when I'm DJing, I see like when people are hyped up and dancing together, it makes me happy. Yeah. And then after that, like yeah, I just dance with them.
Are you a party kind of person yourself? It's like, yeah, love going to clubs, love and do with all the raves. Is that your scene, or are you the kind of person who secretly is like, I prefer to read a good book and have a hot cup of tea and not talk to anyone? What kind of side of you do people know about, and what don't they know about you?
I like to stay at home. I don't really go to clubs like unless like if I have a DJ gig. I usually don't go to
Yeah,
parties.
wow.
I just stay at home and just play like Yakuza, like or console games and like yeah.
Okay. So what's your preferred way to... Because I know you mentioned to me before you're kind of a shy person, which, talking to you, I'm like, no way. There's no way you can be shy when you're going out and you're a DJ and you're a cosplay representative and stuff. But what's your preferred way to socialize, if that's the case? Do you like hang out with like big crowds of people all the time, or do you prefer just kind of small friend groups? What's your favorite way to, I guess, spend time with people?
Usually I prefer like when I'm alone or like outside of like convention.
Let's go both. So when you're alone and also when you're outside of conventions, not doing cosplay or not doing DJ stuff.
Yeah, I just turn off my brain. Yeah, like if I think too much and then after that I'll get like introvert. But if I turn off my brain and then after that, yeah, everything is all good. I become extrovert.
Do you have the kind of brain where it's kind of always focused on work all the time, and when you're not working, you're like, all right, I'm just not going to think about work at all. You're switched off and you're able to relax really easily, or do you find it's hard to kind of switch off your work brain?
Not really, because like cosplaying is my hobby, so being able to make my hobby into my job is something that is very rare for people. So
Yeah.
to me, it's not really work. It's like having fun.
Wow. So it's something that you enjoy so much that you don't even think about it as work. It's just something that, I get to have fun. And I also get paid for it at the same time, so it's very kind of easy
Yeah,
to
yeah.
separate it. That's really cool. Now, obviously, with the world of cosplay or just everything that you've done in your life, nothing is a straight path. Not everything is very easy. Not everything is going to be, wow, this was a great experience from the start. This was also a great experience. Oh, this one, that was a great time as well. What are some of the biggest, I guess, challenges or hurdles in your life that you think you've faced in getting to where you are now? Was there anything that kind of really sticks out that you see as, wow, that was a really difficult time for me?
Like at the first part when I started cosplaying, it's more of like making friends. It's very hard to make friends because like the cosplay community at that point of time is not very welcoming to like new people. It's not like
Right.
after COVID, like everyone started to get into anime. They are more like gatekeeping, and then they will judge you. So they like some of them they just think that I'm like a fake weeb or something, and then after that like they bullied me or like they refuse to be friends with me.
Yeah, wow.
But only until like recently, like until like I started to get like jobs and all this, and then people start to know me, like, and then their attitude towards me suddenly changed like 180-degree.
How does that make you feel? Because it's probably something that you've, had to kind of get used to, in the way that once upon a time, people would, be gatekeepy, or they wouldn't want to talk because, oh, who's this person? Who's this new person? And then as soon as you start having a platform and, you start getting invitations places, then they notice you. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, wow, no, you're wonderful. You're really good looking. Let's be friends. How do you kind of deal with that? Because it's obviously, it doesn't feel to me, but it doesn't sound very genuine. They kind of only want to talk because, now there's somebody. But how do you feel about that, and how have you kind of dealt with that?
I'm kind of used to it because when I was DJing, there's also like such kind of people that exist. So I know that people, some of them like are only around because of who I am right now. But once I become irrelevant, I don't think they will come and talk to me anymore. So I just accept the fact, yeah. And then after that, like, yeah, I mean, they say hi to me, I'll just say hi to them. I don't like, say anything.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I know a lot of people kind of in the cosplay community as well. That's, where they meet a lot of their close friends and stuff like that. Do you feel like you also have met through cosplay, a close circle of friends or a close network of people who, even if you weren't this big, famous person traveling places or doing all these DJ gigs, do you feel like you've met a good group of people who you could still say, oh, I'm not cosplaying anymore, but they'll still say, doesn't matter, like, let's still hang out, let's still be friends. Do you think you've met people like that in your life as well through cosplay?
Yes. I have like actually like my current friends, my current close friends are all from like cosplay. Like cosplaying really like built out my character and changed a lot of things in my life. Yeah. So my best friend right now is also a cosplayer. Yeah.
That's really nice. Now, you also mentioned as well, because again, you said that you're a shy person, and when you first started getting into cosplay, it was difficult to meet people, and it was difficult to, I guess, fit into crowds like that. How did you kind of overcome that? Because I think it's very easy to, when you want to, join a new club or you want to go join a new circle at university or something. It's very easy to want to try and talk to people and meet people, and sometimes it goes great and that's fantastic, but sometimes it'll be like your experience. They don't want to talk to you, or they'll try gatekeep, or they don't really want to associate with anybody new, and that can obviously be very disheartening and make you say, oh, what's the point, or this is too difficult. So for yourself, what made you want to kind of keep going and keep engaging with that community?
Wait. I'm a bit confused.
No, that's okay. So, when you try and talk to somebody new, and sometimes those new people will say, oh, no, I don't really want to talk to you because you're new, or, you're not like one of us. That can obviously be very difficult, because you might be like, oh, maybe I'm just too weird, or maybe I'm just too awkward. But, you obviously chose to keep on trying and keep trying to, meet new people. So what made you want to keep on doing that, despite experiencing this pushback from other people when you first tried?
When I started cosplaying, I don't talk to people.
Right.
It's like if we meet, and then after, if we vibe along, then yeah, that's good. But usually if like I join, I don't really like intentionally go and join a new circle or anything. It's more of like if the friendship like is meant to be, and then after that we will be friends.
Right.
Eventually.
Okay. So it's not something in which you tried to, okay, I want to try and talk to this person today. It was more, you just made your costumes, you went to events and said, cool, I'm here. If I happen to meet people, if they talk to me, if I happen to bump into them, then awesome. And that's kind of how you slowly met people bit by bit, just through just being yourself and just going to events and doing your thing. Is that kind of how you made your circle of friends?
How do I say it? The first time when I joined cosplay community, I did like try to make friends with like a group of people. I'm not gonna mention their
No,
names,
of course.
but yeah. Yeah, I joined like a dance group, like for Love Life, which is
Okay.
like really long ago, and then we even performed. I wanted to make friends, so I joined them, and then I end up getting like bullied because I was really busy with like my IRL job with my DJing stuff. But when I perform for the cosplay stuff, sometimes it clashes.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think like my real life job is more important than a hobby, because like I need to eat, I
Of
need
course.
to put food on the table. Yeah. But I think they're still too young, because some of them are like 1 or 2 years younger than me. So they're still studying, and they don't know about this. So they just think like I'm really like a lazy person that doesn't want to go to the event. But it's just that I'm just busy with my RL job. I have to go to clubs every night. Yeah. And then they
Wow.
bully me. So yeah, after this I'm like, so hard to make friends. I'm just gonna, yeah, be with myself. Like if I happen to make friends in the future, then yeah, it happens and it happens. But
Yeah.
if not, I wouldn't go and reach out to people because of this. Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. With because you mentioned before as well, because you're obviously, you have to work to pay the bills, you have to work to put food on the table, and it's not something that is, because if they're younger, what's the situation usually in Singapore? Is that people will live with their families up until they finish university and then they move out, or they and being able to do cosplay is, I guess, a bonus, and it's available for everybody, or is it kind of a hobby which only if you are in a kind of stable position that you're able to do cosplay? Is that kind of the situation in Singapore?
Yeah, you have to be stable enough to buy your own costume. For me, it's because like actually in Singapore, most of the time, even up to today, I recently I just moved back with my mom, because I moved out of my own place like for 2 years to try to experience like the outside world by myself. Even though my parents told me like, oh, it's fine and we can just give you money, but I'm just like, nah, I want to use my own money. So I just earn my own money ever since I started working when I'm 18. I stopped like taking my mom's like parents' money or anything. And then on top of that, I tried to pay for their bills even when there's actually no need to do that. Yeah.
Has it
And
been?
then
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, has it been easy or is it very difficult? Because paying for yourself and living by yourself is something that does require quite a bit of money. But for yourself, have you found just doing cosplay gigs and doing DJ gigs, has that been enough for yourself to be able to live by yourself quite comfortably, or has that been quite difficult? Because I know Singapore can be a little bit expensive in that way.
it's enough for me to live comfortably. Yeah.
Okay. And back now, it's just okay. I just want to kind of move back home and save a bit of money to try and buy your own house or something like that. Is that kind of the goal at the moment, or?
Oh no, I pay my mom rent.
That's right. We're all
Yeah,
paying. We're
like
all
I
paying
moved
somebody
back.
rent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of like because my mom can't speak English, so like I moved out because I went to find a normal full-time job. I want to like try working a office job at least once in my life to experience the hardship, and then after that to move out and pay my own bills and like try to survive on my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, now I moved back, and then after that to more of like help out with my mom because like my mom, I have like younger brothers and all this. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So by the sounds of it, you did the full time office work. You tried that for a little bit, uh, and obviously you're not doing that at the moment. So what about that kind of lifestyle made you think, oh, no, I'm not going to do this anymore, and I want to, keep trying to do cosplay, keep trying to do DJing. What kind of made you come to that realization?
It's more of like when I was working a full-time job, like the company is not really a good place. I feel like no matter what ideas or like anything that I give, like the ideas and all this, right? They don't listen to what I say or like, and then on top of that, it's kind of like they are exploiting like me and my friends.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
because we work in the same company together. It's like 1 week ago, the boss could have been saying like, "Oh my God, you did such a good job," and then next week they realize they have to give you bonus for it. Suddenly they start like to insult you,
Oh
and then
wow.
so that they can cut your pay.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness. Well, don't worry. None of us like office jobs here, and that's why we're going down the cosplay lifestyle instead. Have you found doing this kind of work where you're basically working for yourself? Has that been more difficult? Has that been easier? Has it been more rewarding, or has it been very nervous for yourself? Like, how have you felt kind of just working for yourself as opposed to working for somebody else and you have a regular paycheck coming in? So, how have you felt about that? Kind of just working for yourself.
Uh, it's like it's more of like because I know I'm young right now, and then I don't want to regret not doing this when I'm older because like not everyone get it's like they don't get this opportunity.
Yeah.
Sorry, dyslexia. I have dyslexia. And then yeah, and then after that I'm like, oh YOLO, I want to try this when I'm at least when I'm young so
Yeah.
that when I'm old I don't regret like not doing this. And then it's fun. Yeah.
I'm
It's
glad.
very fun.
Do you see yourself doing cosplay and DJing for a long time to come, or do you feel like it's something that I'm only going to do it for, a few more years and then I'll probably do something else? How do you kind of see it at the moment?
Cosplay has always been my hobby. So even if in the future I don't get gigs or anything, right? I'm still gonna like cosplay for fun because like I've always liked this hobby. It's more of like hobby for me to like distress.
Yeah, that's cool. Has there been any one cosplay you think that has been a bit of a turning point for yourself and your career, I suppose, so far, in which, yeah, this costume here, that's the one that made me, get noticed by people, or this costume here was the one that started to open doors. Was there any one costume in particular that did that for you, or you think it was kind of a build up slowly, just naturally from a bunch of different costumes?
It was the female Mahito.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, it was the female version of it, and then after that, it kind of like exploded on Instagram like 3 years or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I was like, huh? What? What is going on?
So when you go to conventions and stuff nowadays, do you feel like you get recognized quite easily by a lot of people, or it's if they see you, they're like, oh my god, it's Haru over here, and you have to like, I'm trying to just get a sandwich. Can you let me get a sandwich, kind of thing? Oh, are you very easily recognizable when you go to conventions these days?
Yeah, yes, but I don't feel like, oh, like leave me alone kind of thing. It's more of like, I'm very happy to meet people that recognize me and recognize like they like my work. So like I'm very happy to meet them. So I'll try to chit chat with them and like engage with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice. And do you usually, when you go to a convention, you have a booth where you're selling prints or you've got a panel to do on stage? Is that something that you do quite regularly when you go to events?
Currently, yes, but when I have my free time and I see like there's like convention around, sometimes I will go to convention by myself because I feel like if I'm always boothing, I don't have the time to really like talk to my fans and all this to spend time with them. So sometimes I'm just like, nah, it's not every time when I go to convention or anything, it has to be like earning money.
Yeah.
I want to go there to like have fun and talk to them, like because like how do I say it? Like they took the time out to appreciate my cosplay, so I want to spend time with them as well.
Oh, that's really nice. That's what's your favorite part about, I guess, going to conventions these days? Because it can be anything from just meeting new people and talking to them. A lot of people like to go to events specifically to meet guests like yourself. Some people like going to the after parties where, after the convention they go out and have drinks and stuff like that. So what's for you at the moment? What's the most enjoyable part about going to conventions?
To meet people that appreciate my cosplay. Yeah, usually I just go there because I have like a group chat on like WeChat and all this, and then I'll just say like, oh, I'll be dropping off. I'll be coming to this event from this hour to this hour, and I hope to see all of you. But it's not like a booth or anything. You can come up to talk to me because like when I'm boothing, it always have to be like the timing has to be very tight because there's always people lining up at the back, and to I don't want it to be always like this, like very transactional.
Yeah.
I want to like be able to talk to them and spend time with them. Yeah.
That's really nice. Have you met any, I guess, fans of yours who have, you've had chats with, and then, you've obviously kept in touch and you've become good friends with them over time? Is that very common for, fans to become good friends of yours?
I do have some fans that become like my good friends. Yeah. It's more of like it's like if we vibe, we vibe. Yeah.
Excellent. No, that's really cool. I think it's really nice because a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot of, but I have definitely met people, guests in the past where it is like you say, sometimes they're behind a booth and you don't get much time to talk to them, or when they are walking around the convention floor and, you try to strike up a conversation, there's always something going on. There's someone to be, there's someone else to talk to, or they're very stressed. But it really sounds like you're the kind of person who, you genuinely want to meet people and talk to them and get to kind of spend a bit of time with them, especially if there's someone who has been following you for a while. You kind of want to get to know them a bit more as a person as well. So that's really nice. It shows the very human element, just kind of wanting to meet people. But you mentioned before, it's like, oh, kind of shy, I don't really like socializing. But do you think going to conventions is a bit of an exception in which, you quite enjoy talking to lots of different people?
At the first, it was very hard because like I'm quite introvert in the past. I was like bullied very badly in school and all this. And then after that, after a long time, like the first invite when I like overseas event, yeah, I kind of like forced myself to get used to it, to try to talk to people because like I have cosplay idols that I idolize a lot, and I wish one day I can meet them. And I know like if people like me this much, they would like to spend time talking to me too. So if I meet my cosplay idol, I wish to be able to talk to like my favorite cosplayer as well. So I understand their feeling because I have my own favorite cosplayer as well. Yeah.
Oh,
And then like at the start it was quite hard, but after a while I just feel like uh I put on the costume and then I am cosplaying as Haru. And then after that, like I'm more like extrovert when I put on a costume. Yeah.
Interesting. So cosplay becomes a bit kind of like an armor for you to get a bit more comfortable with talking to people, and it sounds like the motivation for you to want to get better at talking to a lot of different people is helped by the fact that, I also want to talk to some of my cosplay idols, and talking to lots of different people is, I guess, good practice for getting to speak to different people. And hopefully it's going to be nice and a nice normal conversation when you do get to talk to your idols. So that's really cool. Are you the kind of person, so when you do meet somebody that you admire very much or they're one of your idols, are you the kind of person to get very nervous and get very shy and not know what to say when you meet somebody like that?
Like at the first time I met some of the cosplayer that I really like, but how do I say? I'm a bit shy, but I just tell them that I really look up to their work and they really inspire me. I try to like express like my gratitude of them being so superior. Yeah. To them. Like I just tell them, you look really good. Thank you for cosplaying. Yeah. Like thank you for inspiring me. And then after that, yeah, I become friends with them.
That's really nice. And after that, what do you think about them? Do you think, oh, we're good friends, but they still feel superior? Or do you kind of figure out, oh, they're just like me, they're just another person? How does that kind of...
No, as in like at the start I don't really see them as like, because I know that everyone is not perfect. So I don't really see them as this like godlike image. It's more of like I really like their work, and turns out all of them are like really nice person. Like their personality is really funny and I'm like, oh my god, they're so cute.
You've probably had it as well where, some of your fans have probably, thought something similar. It's like, oh my god, Haru, they're just so amazing. They make all these costumes and I'm a bit shy and nervous to talk to them because they're so amazing. For someone who thinks like that, for someone who is like yourself, is in the position where people would want to admire your work, but also you're someone who admires other people's work, what would you say is a good advice or good way of looking at if you wanted to meet somebody who you really admire, but you're very nervous to talk to them? What's some advice you'd give to somebody like that?
Turn off your brain. Yeah.
What does that mean in this case?
I
Just
think-
just don't think, or just what would you say?
Because for me, if one day I were to meet Yenshen, I will explode. So I have no good advice.
Okay, so it's just in this case, just do your best. Just go do your best and try and talk to them and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think you did mention something a bit before that I thought was quite interesting, which I think is really good, is, when you meet fans or when you meet people you talk to or when you meet people that you admire, all it takes is just one conversation where you start talking with them. It might be something very simple like, I really like your work and thank you so much for being so inspirational. And sometimes you vibe, sometimes you get along really well, but, it's not always going to happen. Some people you will vibe with, some people you won't, but the only way that you're ever really going to find out is if you try to have that conversation with them, which is really cool. Have there been any conversations that you remember, particularly that you've had, which were very, let's say, memorable for one reason or another? Like it was either a really good conversation or it was a really, just a very interesting conversation that you think you've had? Anything that comes to mind?
Currently, when I think, not really though,
No,
but
okay.
no. I used to be like introvert, but whenever I put on costume and I'll be like, hey, nice to meet you, I'm Haru. Like I become like somehow extrovert and I'm not really afraid of talking to people.
That's good. Do you think you've always been in some way afraid of talking to people, or do you think that's just something that comes with being introverted for yourself?
No. Yeah, like I think it happened like only the past few years only. Yeah.
So do you think it's gotten easier just because you've kind of gotten used to just going out and trying to talk to people and seeing what happens, I suppose? Has it gotten easier for you?
Yeah, a lot more easier because I used to be like I have like very low self-esteem in the past because I was bullied, but now I have like a group of close friends. It's more of like I just stay with like my close friends because I know like if I don't have to make new friends to have friends because I know that like the friends that I have right now will always be with me. Yeah.
That's really good.
So
That's excellent.
Easier.
Do you feel like for yourself, having this tight knit group of friends and going to conventions and stuff like that, that is essential for being in the cosplay world, or do you think it's still very possible for someone, for example, say they're just getting into cosplay, they haven't met anybody yet? What would you say? What advice would you give to somebody who's kind of just getting into cosplay and wanting to make friends for the first time? What kind of advice would you give to somebody like that?
Your first group of friends really like like, how do I say, it's very important. If they bully you and then after that you become like me, and then you won't want to like reach out to people. But if you happen to meet good friends, then I think it will be a good experience. Yeah.
That's fair enough. And for anybody who kind of is interested in doing the kind of work that you do, you're someone who goes around to conventions, you get invited places, you do panels, you do DJs. For someone who would be interested in, kind of going down that path, or just kind of exploring to saying, oh, is this kind of career, is this kind of lifestyle for me? What would you suggest would be a good place to start for somebody like that?
I don't really have any suggestion. I just feel like if you really enjoy and you really like doing something and you always want to improve, people will eventually notice you. But if you want to do something just because you want the money, then I don't think you will succeed, because like it's not something that you really like or enjoy, so you won't put in that much effort into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever been yourself as well? You've obviously been someone who's had to go through the ropes of, finding your first group of friends who you really connect with, finding your first opportunities to go to a convention. And you've probably had the chance to work with a few different conventions around the world now, in not just as a guest, but, probably helping them decide things or helping them organize different things. So for conventions that, you've visited and you've been able to help out with and see what goes on behind the scenes, what are some things that for yourself that, conventions really like? Because, you're definitely someone who has been in touch with different people around the world, and, oh, this is the kind of thing they're after, or, they really liked my company this time because they enjoyed this part of me. So for yourself, talking to different conventions, what do you think is something that's really important to have a quality as a person or as a cosplayer that conventions really like?
I don't know. I don't think so much. I just, be myself. Just, I don't know. I never really think about it that much. Like, I don't try to portray a certain image so that people will like me. Yeah.
Is that something that you've always kind of known? Like, I'm just going to be me and whatever happens, happens? Or is it something that you kind of had to learn? Because I know a lot of us, we try and meet a new group of friends or something, it doesn't work out. We might think, oh, is there something wrong with me? Was I too weird? Did I say something wrong? And you're obviously someone who, at this point in time, is very much like, oh, if they like me, awesome. If we don't vibe, then whatever, I don't really care. So is that something you feel like has always come naturally to you, or do you feel like that's something you've had to learn?
Something when I have to learn when I was DJing back then, because how do I say? Like, people are like some people, if they don't like you, they will find reasons to don't dislike you, no matter how much you try to impress them or like portray a certain image to be friends with them. So like, I just accepted the fact, like, like, if you like me, then you like me, because like I like, if my friends are friends with me, that means they're always like friends with me for me.
Yeah.
It's not for someone. I don't like to like portray myself as a certain image or anything, because it's too tiring. You have to keep up with it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And you said you learned that from doing DJing. Was there a certain instance, I suppose, in which that happened when you were DJing that kind of helped you realize that?
I mean, when you're in an agency with a bunch of girls, even though you're like not saying anything, people will just, like, there will be like dramas for no reason. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Do you like I said, because there's the DJing scene and the cosplay scene, and you've obviously managed to meld them together really well for yourself as, a DJ and a cosplayer. But do you feel like you could just purely do DJing, or do you feel like, no, I enjoy cosplay too much and I would never kind of just do DJing in that way?
Yeah, I actually quit, like I stopped DJing at 2018 and I didn't really expect to like DJ for anime events
Hmm.
because like I just like cosplaying more than DJ
Yeah, yeah.
because like of what happened back then, and that's why I quit DJing. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
And so now it's just something, oh, now I'm mostly cosplaying on the side. I'll kind of do some DJing instead, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, DJing is not like my main job. It's more of cosplaying. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, that's really cool. Now, we'll have a quick conversation now, just before we have to wrap up, just about you going to Smash. Now, when you are coming to Smash in July, it'll be your first time. You'll get to ride kangaroos. You'll get to fight them if you wanted to. Um, but when you do come down to Smash, what kind of things are you going to be doing at the convention that people can expect to see you at?
Um, I don't know. It's just I exist.
You exist. Are you doing like
Yeah, I exist.
are you doing any like panels or booths or anything like that over the weekend or?
Yeah, I think I'll be doing a 1 hour panel about like styling wigs and like cosplay stuff in general, like makeup. Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that's your favorite thing to do in cosplay, like doing wigs and makeup and stuff, or do you prefer making things, or what's the thing that you like the most about doing cosplay?
Dressing up and looking good.
Dressing up and looking good. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's because like I used to get bullied, like being called ugly and all this. So like
Hmm.
cosplay really gave me a lot of confidence and all this. Like who doesn't want to look good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. God, you must have had a really rough school because it's just like, oh, this happened, got bullied for this, people sucked. You're doing very well. You're here now, you're thriving, you've made it past that rough time. So, I'm glad. That's really cool. And when you do come to Sydney, you did mention as well, first time in Australia. You're looking forward to the food, the kangaroos. Is there anything at Smash in particular that you are wanting to go and see yourself? Because I know you said you like exploring the convention, but is there anything there that you're interested in?
I love BL.
Oh
I
yeah,
wish I can see a lot of BL merch over there.
we do have a fantastic artists alley. So if you like the artist alley, it's going to be one of our biggest ones, I think, with 300-ish artists, which is really cool. So it's
I
enormous.
love looking at art, like because how do I say, I like drawing,
Mm,
like I like drawing myself as well, so I really enjoy like really good art. So usually when I go to convention by myself, like if it's not for like event,
yeah.
I will go there and spend tons of money on like merchandise. Like especially the artist alley, like the dojins and all this. When I see like good art piece or like a artwork, I will be like, I want to keep it, and then after that, yeah, I'll buy it.
Any artists listening in? You hear that? Haru's coming for you, so better get your BL stuff ready because she's gonna buy it.
Currently I haven't looked up at the panels yet because but when the event is nearing, I will go and look up at the artist site. I will go and flip through, and then after that, like I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that.
You gotta have like a plan in mind because with three, I couldn't finish the artist alley last year. It was way too big, and it's gonna be even bigger this year. So I think you're gonna have a lot of fun there.
I'm excited.
One actually other point that you did mention before, because you said obviously you have to travel overseas for conventions, and sometimes it's with friends, sometimes it's by yourself. I actually talked with a couple of friends earlier today because the day that we're recording this, I've actually got a convention that's supposed to be on today. That's a little bit far away, but obviously I've got some work to do, so I have to skip today and we'll go tomorrow instead. But I did talk to a couple of friends who said, "Oh, I'm not going to go today because my friend can't go, and I'm scared to go by myself because I don't know how I'd spend my time there." And you're obviously someone who's enjoys their own company, can have fun no matter where you go. So for yourself, if you said to somebody, "Oh, I'm going to go to a convention by myself and have a good time," what do you kind of, I know you said you don't really think about it, but some people they're very nervous about going to an event by themselves, or they're very shy or something about it. How do you think about it? Going to a convention by yourself just to look around, and you'll obviously meet new people, but how do you kind of think about it if you have to go to a convention by yourself?
Actually, like I started to get used to like going convention by myself, like since I started like getting overseas like invitation and stuff, because most of the time I'm actually going overseas by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes when I go to a country, I don't even know anyone. I'm just there, like I don't even speak their language, you know. So like I'm kind of like used to it. Like I just go to convention and I buy the things that I like. I do my own things, and then after I go back.
Yeah, wow. What's been, because you said you don't even speak the language sometimes. How does that work? Is there like one translator there who will help you speak to people just for a certain amount of time, and then after that they'll say, oh, your next event is not for another few hours, go off and have some fun. Do they have like a translator for you, or?
Yeah, they do. When I go to like Vietnam or like Indonesia, they have like translator over there for me. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. What's been so far I guess the biggest convention that you've got to visit, and what's been the smallest one that you've got to visit?
The biggest one, I'm not really a guest there, but the biggest one is AX.
Oh, you went to AX, did you?
Yeah, I went to AX last year. It was so huge. It's what the
Did you
what the hell?
did you go to the infamous Artists Alley, which was like, yeah, the air levels in here are not very toxic, not very healthy. Were you in that Artists Alley that day, or?
Oh no. I just walked around and buy merchandise.
Okay.
And then
okay.
after that I saw the R821 or like the M18 one, and then I'm like, I want to go in, but I forgot to bring my ID with me, so I
Did
couldn't
they
go
not let you in? Did they? Because like, oh, you look. I'm not sure if you look 21 or not, or and they just didn't
No,
let
the
you
queue is too long.
Oh,
The queue
really?
is so long, and then I'm like, eh.
What's been the smallest convention you've been to, if that's the case?
Sabah, Malaysia.
Okay. Is that a fun one to go to still?
It's fun, but it's like it's very tiny. It's like probably like in a shopping mall, like on
Okay.
top of a shopping mall, and it's only like half of the shopping mall. It's very tiny. Like within one look, you can see like the whole event.
Wow.
There's
Okay.
like only like 10 or 15 booths over there.
Wow.
That's how tiny it is. Yeah, that's like the smallest event I've been to.
But it's still fun to go to because it's, I suppose, still growing, and they've got like a small community there which you can kind of have time to talk to people and get to know everybody.
Yeah, I think it's a very small community over there. So that's why like everyone knows each other. Like even though I don't know them, but they are so like hyped up because they know each other.
That's really nice. That's really
Yeah.
nice, yeah.
And then the best thing about the convention is like during the, like for example, the left side is like a cosplay convention at the mall, and the right side is a whole ass UFC fight.
What?
Yeah. There's like only one small lane in the middle to separate like the two conventions. Like there's like tons of like macho mans at the side fighting, like UFC, like grappling, and then after that, on the other side it's like anime girls dancing on the stage.
We have the two types of people here today. Some of us like anime girls dancing, some of us like macho men, and some of us like both, and we're happy to stand right in the middle in that one laneway.
Yeah. And then someone made like a meme. Like someone took a video of it like over there, like a guy standing and like confused like which side should he go, and then turned like the video went viral.
Wow. I don't think sometimes at the conventions we have here, they put wrestling. So it's not UFC, but it's the wrestling where they, with John Cena, The Rock, those kinds of wrestlers. But the Australian version, and they've brought that to conventions sometimes here. So it's part of the convention. So maybe it's an emerging thing. They're thinking, okay, you know what? You know who'd really get into wrestling and UFC? Cosplayers. So, you look, if cosplay or DJing just doesn't work out for you, it looks like there's always a career path for you in UFC or wrestling.
I used to learn MMA.
Really?
Yeah. I used to learn MMA when I was in secondary school, like for a few years.
Really? That's cool. It's like just for the fun of it, or because it was just there, or it's something that you're actually interested in?
Self-defense because
Oh wow.
no, self-defense because I was bullied in school, and then after that, like people tried to beat me up, so I went to learn MMA and like Muay Thai for like self-defense. So if one day they were to fight me, I can fight them back.
Better watch out. No one's starting anything with Haru. She's gonna kind of do a drop kick on you, and you're not gonna wake up. So
No. I'm just a skinny Asian girl now.
don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. Say no. I'm a lethal weapon to be recognized. Oh dear. So, yeah. What's been the most, let's say, as we kind of come to the end of this, what's been the most interesting part for yourself, or what's been the most fulfilling part about being a cosplayer who people recognize and look up to? What's something about that you think you like and appreciate the most about, doing what you get to do?
Like just I don't know, like I just dress up and then after that like people thinks that my cosplay is very nice and I'm like, thank you.
Just kind of getting to talk to cool people and meeting them and getting people to go like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, oh my god, I met Karina, she's so hot.
Ah, that's fun. So you get to meet cool people, get to meet hot people, and it's kind of one of the perks of the job, I suppose. So that's really cool. Do people get you like gifts or presents and stuff when you do guesting? It's like, oh my god, Haru, like I like your stuff so much. Here's a present. Here's something I made for you. Do you get that kind of stuff very often?
Yeah. Every convention I get like handmade gifts and
That's really
especially glue and got to be hairspray.
This is for your next project. I wanted to be part of it, so please have some more cosplay supplies. What's been the nicest present that you've gotten?
I have this fan in Vietnam. Her name is called Jessie. Every time, every time when I go to Vietnam, she will make like handmade like traditional Vietnamese costume for me.
That is so nice. Me. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you get the chance to go to Vietnam quite regularly by the sounds of it.
Oh yeah, it's like almost like my second home.
Oh, that's a bit sweet. That's a bit sweet. I really like that. Are you a fan of coriander?
Yes.
Okay. Thankfully, that's very much the case. I've got some friends who are not, and I just never get to eat Vietnamese food when I'm with them because they're like, oh, I don't like coriander. It tastes like soap. But I'm glad that you do.
My friends give me like coriander flowers all the time.
What?
Like a bouquet of coriander at that convention. When like I remember during like the Malaysian convention, AMG, I received so much coriander bouquet that it filled out my luggage when I was going back to the hot Airbnb.
Is that a thing? Just like instead of a bouquet of flowers, they give you a bouquet of coriander. That's a thing.
Because I say like flowers, you can't eat them and then they just rot, but like coriander, I can bring it to hot pot and eat it.
Very practical. Very practical. I like that. That's amazing. I hope you got to eat most of that coriander. I mean, how much hot pot did you get to eat before the coriander went off? Because that's going to expire too sometime, won't it?
A lot. For 3 days, I've been eating hot pots for 3 days.
You'll be glad to know.
And they even gave me coriander cake.
What? That's a thing?
Yeah, there's coriander cake. Yeah. In Asia, there's like coriander cake. Like some shop, they make it as a meme. And then there's actually people buying it. And then but it tastes good.
Do you know how to make it?
No. But I receive a lot of coriander cake.
Oh my god. I have to try this. I like coriander. I don't love it. But that's so interesting. What would it taste like? Does it taste like cake? Does it taste like coriander? Does it taste like both?
There's coriander boba, coriander cake, coriander noodles.
What?
Coriander everything over here.
I've got to go back to Singapore to try this out. This sounds amazing. Like, what the heck? I thought Vietnam was like the home of like, yes, coriander everything. And it's Singapore. Okay. It's been a while. Singapore. Cool. Now, I don't know, time's flown. That's pretty much an hour. How does it feel like? Does it feel like we've been talking for an hour? Or has it been like, oh, that wasn't too bad?
I feel like it's only 10 minutes.
Have you been on a podcast before, or is this your first time?
I've been on like some podcasts before on YouTube and all this. Like, yeah.
Is it something?
I've been to podcasts.
Is it something that you enjoy doing, or it's like, oh, I don't like speaking on the internet, or how do you feel about it?
At first, I'll be like, shit, I don't know what to say. And then after when they speak to me, I'm like, okay, haha.
Easy.
And then I'm like, oh, it's very easy to talk.
I'm glad. Well, hopefully that means for you, it's just like, oh, cool, this time flew by really quickly. That means I was just enjoying myself while I was watching it. So, but no, thank you very much for joining us today. You're obviously coming to Smash in July, but for anybody who is looking forward to meeting you or wants to find out more about your adventures in life, where on the internet can they find you?
Mainly Instagram. Yeah.
What's your Instagram?
DJ HaruHaruka.
I'll put their links in the description below because obviously it's a bit easier to just kind of click on something. But you're on Instagram. Are you on like X or YouTube or anything like that as well, or?
On X, but I forgot about like it exists.
Right. So it's mostly just
I use Twitter.
Twitter. Okay. So Twitter and Instagram mostly. Is that mostly your things that you use?
Wait, X is Twitter. No, Twitter is now another name, right?
X. Yeah, they call it X.
Oh yeah, X. Yeah. Shit. No. Wait, X isn't it the Facebook one?
No. Twitter and Facebook are different. So.
Oh wait. That is Threads.
What Threads?
Yeah, there's like a new platform that is created by Instagram and Facebook.
Threads.
Like Twitter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Threads.
it's called, Threads.
Do you use that very often?
No, I don't really use that. I created an account and I forgot that it existed. I use Twitter. Like I use X more because like there's like more people uploading like nice art and doujins over there.
That's where the content is. That's where you need to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So follow DJ Haru on their Instagram and their X. I'll put the links below. But yeah, check them out. They do some pretty cool work. Follow more of their adventures. And apart from that, do you have any other kind of cool announcements to announce before you head down here in July?
No. See you.
Well, yeah, excellent. Well, look, thank you so much for having a chat with me today. Excited to catch up with you in July when you pop around. But thank you to everyone who has listened in today. Be sure to, again, check out DJ Haru's work and catch them when they come and visit in July. Bring some coriander. They're going to love it. So, excellent. But yeah, everyone, thank you for listening. We'll see you again next week. And take care. We'll see you around. I'm going to say bye now. Haru, you can say bye.
Bye-bye. Matane.
Bye.
Thank you.